Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Dizzy Jewels. Today I wanted to show you all this new game that I brought. It's called Boggle, and it's a word game that you can play with, I think it's for 2 or more players, and it's a classic game. I hadn't actually played it until recently. The reason I knew about the game was because I heard about it on a TV show called King of the Hill. The mom of that show is a Boggle fanatic, I would say. She loves playing Boggle, and she even enters tournaments for this game. Okay, so I just want to go over the rules for this board game so you can understand how to play it in case you're interested. Okay, so the recommended age for this game is 8 and over, and it's for 1 or more players. So included in the game is the Boggle grid base and lid, 16 letter cubes, and a sand timer. So these are the letter cubes. It's basically dice, but instead of numbers, it's all letters. And it also has a sand timer, which is really fun. I love these. Okay. So the object of the game is to earn points by spotting words your friends don't before time runs out. So the setup is you want to make sure all 16 letter cubes are in the grid base. Then you remove the sand timer from the lid and place it where everyone can see it. Put the lid on and place the game in the center of your play area. Get a pen and paper for each player. So this game is really simple to set up, and I think it's very fun to play. Okay. So the play starts with you have to shake the grid to mix up the letter cubes and wiggle it until the cubes fall into place. When everyone is ready, flip the timer and lift the lid to reveal the letters. Spot words fast. Write down as many as you can before time runs out. Be original. Only words not spotted by another player count. When time is up, stop writing. Take turns reading your word list aloud and work out your scores. So how long is the game? That's up to you. A game can be a single 90-second round, an agreed upon number of rounds, a contest to reach a fixed score, such as 50 or 100 points, or just until you're boggled out. If you want to play a traditional Boggle with 3-minute rounds, flip the timer once it ends and keep the round going for another 90 seconds. So there's rules about how the words can be made and what words actually score points. So here's some of the basic rulings for the words. It says words must be at least 3 letters long. The letter cubes used to form a word must touch in sequence, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally in any direction. A letter cube can be used only once in a word. Any word in any tense and any form, singular or plural, is allowed as long as it can be found in an agreed English dictionary. Words within words are allowed. For example, if you find pear, don't forget P and ear. Proper nouns like Joe, Ohio, and France, are not allowed. And it gives some examples of some correct and incorrect words. So you can see here scores 2 words, oils and oil. So it'll be O-I-L-S and then O-I-L. Silo, S-I-L-O, and soil, S-O-I-L. So some examples of wrong words include solo. So S-O-L-O, you're using the O twice, which can't be done. Soar, S-O-A-R, the O and A don't touch, so that's also incorrect. So whenever I'm playing, I just remember that the letters have to be next to each other, or they have to be touching for you to use them to form the word, and you can't use a letter more than once. And so those are the basic rules. And the scoring can be a little bit complicated when you're trying to score a lot of words. But here's the rules for scoring. It says, only unique words count. Any word that appears on more than one player's list must be crossed off all lists. No one gets credit for it. Once all lists have been read, score your words. So the number of letters tells you how many points you will get for that word. So if your word is 3 letters long, you get 1 point. 4 letters long, you get 1 point. 5 letters long, you get 2 points. 6 letters long, 3 points. And 7 letters long, 5 points. So 8 or more letters will give you a grand total of 11 points, which is a lot. So when I play, I usually stick to 3 to 6 letter words because I think those are the easiest to find. It's very rare that you'll get a grid that will allow you to get a lot of multiple 7 or 8 letter words. So to win, the player with the highest score at the end of the game wins. If you want to be a Boggle champ, it's recommended to play solo and try to beat your high score so that you can get better over time. Okay. So some things to remember. Multiple meanings of the same spelling do not earn multiple credit. For example, the word tear, meaning both rip and cry, only counts once. The same word found in multiple areas of the grid may not be counted for multiple credit. The QU cube counts as 2 letters. I did not know that. I'm glad I read that. You get full credit for both the singular and plural of a noun as long as you wrote both down. For example, you could score both hat and hats. For a high score, look for unusual words that others might miss. And that's important because if you're playing with more than one person, you have to keep in mind that they're gonna also be writing down their own list of words. And if you're just getting all the easy to see words, they're probably going to write those down too. And so you're going to end up crossing all the words that they wrote down off of your list, and you can end up with a really low score. So if you're going for the more difficult words that are harder to see, you have a higher chance of actually scoring those words, and it'll be less likely for them to be knocked off your list. Okay. So this game, or this version of this game, was produced by Hasbro Gaming Company. And those are the rules. Very easy to understand and fun to play, especially if you're playing with, you know, more than one person. It can get very competitive very fast. Okay, so I thought I'd play a quick round by myself. And before I do that though, I just wanted to show off this new pen that I bought. So hopefully you can see it. And I love this pen because it has a logo of one of my favorite bands, the Black Keys. I absolutely love the Black Keys. They play rock music and they released an album recently. I would say they release an album every like 2 to 3 years, and I really love their music. If you haven't heard of them, I recommend them. You can go to Spotify and like their top songs on Spotify are some of my favorite songs of all time. And so what's cool about this pen is that you can see here it's a little like van on the inside, and it's inside liquid, so you can actually move it around. It's so cool. I love this pen. And it's just a regular ballpoint pen. Nothing special about the ink, it's just a cool design for one of my favorite bands. Okay. So I have the dice ready, and I have my timer ready. Okay, so one thing I didn't actually like it, one thing I'm not thrilled about this game is that when you have all the dice and you're like, have it in this container, you have to like shake it up, so that the dice mix, but it's actually very loud when you shake it up. So if you're trying to play this at night, it's kind of difficult because when you shake it after each round, it makes a lot of noise, which can be annoying to neighbors if you're living in an apartment. But other than that, I really love this game. Okay, so I'll set the timer. And as soon as I set the timer, I'll start writing down words that I see. And just so you know, my handwriting is not the best, so hopefully we can make out the words that I'm writing down. Okay, so I'm about to flip the timer. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so that's the time. The timer's up, and so as you can see, most of the words I score are 3 letters in length. I got maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 4 4-letter words, and the rest were all 3-letter words. So, I can start going down the list to show you how I made my words. And so we have dig, D-I-G, big, B-I-G, dip, D-I-P, hog, H-O-G, bog, B-O-G, dib, D-I-B, hop, H-O-P, hope, H-O-P-E, and I didn't see it at the time, but you could also score hopes, H-O-P-E-S, and that would be a 5-letter word, which would give you an additional point, I think. So bet, B-E-T, get, G-E-T, set, S-E-T, see, S-E-E, sob, S-O-B, toes, T-O-E-S, toe, T-O-E, shoe, S-H-O-E, best, B-E-S-T, and sob, S-O-B. So this was a good one to write down a lot of 3-letter words. Sometimes when you shake the grid, you'll get like a bunch of like consonants, and you won't have so many vowels, which will make it hard to make words. So for like a round where there's not too many consonants, or there's maybe too many, for rounds where there's too many vowels, it can be hard to make words, or when there's too many consonants, also it can be hard to make words. But in this case, there was a pretty decent mix of vowels and consonants next to each other, so it was definitely easy to make the 3-letter words, but I wasn't able to find too many 4-letter words, and I didn't find any 5 or 6 or more letter words. And even looking now that I'm giving myself time to look to see if I can find any longer or more interesting words, and I'm not seeing anything. Maybe does, D-O-E-S, that's a 4-letter word. Dope, another 4-letter word. This is a Z. I don't think I can do anything with the Z. Hoe and hose. B, which I didn't see originally. Yeah, so it's definitely a lot more challenging to make the longer words, which is why they score more points. And so like if I was scoring my words that I have here, just a reminder, 3 letters is 1 point, 4 letters is 1 point. And so for all the words I made, I would only get 1 point each. So if I tally these up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 total points. Which is a decent score, but again, if I was playing with another person, they would probably have wrote down a lot of these same words. So I would be crossing some of the words off my list, which would lower my score. And yeah, even I gave myself additional time and I still couldn't find a 5 or 6 letter word. Oh well. Well, that was a fun round, and I think that's all I have to show you for today for this video. I just wanted to share with you all this fun game that I started playing recently. I had always known about this game, like I knew it was a thing, I just didn't know how to play or what the goal of the game was until I recently was at the store and they had this game and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to buy it to see what this is all about. And it was relatively cheap. So I bought it and then I read the rules and I was like, oh, this is a pretty straightforward game. I can definitely see myself playing this with friends, and it's easy to play. It's fun to play. I recommend it. If you know anyone that loves word games, I think this would make a good gift for them. Like if you know someone that loves to play Scrabble or loves to play word games on their phone, this might be a cool Christmas gift or holiday gift for them. It's also a pretty good stocking stuffer if you have younger kids. So just wanted to make this video. I know this game isn't the most popular game out there, but it's still fun to play. Okay, well, that's all the time I have for this video. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.